Most high achievers are missing this one blueprint and it's completely destroying their lives. What is this? It's the four pillars, and they're all interconnected. And if we're ever feeling stuck, it's going to find out here. Here's where it really challenge lies. The four pillars are leadership, business, brand, and body and spirit. And throughout a lot of our lives, we always think that these are not aligned. The truth is, these are completely aligned. I've had clients where they come in and they go, I want to increase my sales. Great. What do your numbers look like? Are you in shape? Are you working out? Are you doing these things? And they start to think that that's a non-factor. And some of it is, some of it isn't. It really depends on the situation. But there is an energy difference. There is an activity difference. And there is a feeling difference, right? We want people to not only live financially great lives, but we want them to live holistic lives. And that's why it's, if you look me up, it's Edwards Holistic Consulting. And the reason it's for that is because alignment is everything, right? If we're missing the body and the spirit, we're not aligning with who we are. We're not fully showing up. We're not committing ourselves to things. Yes, there are seasons where we sacrifice. Yes, there are times in our life where we lock in on certain things. And I'm not saying that's not good, that's not bad. I'm just saying in general, there's always going to be a recourse. There's always going to be, I'm a little bit behind on here. Oh, I could commit more here. Oh, I have family time. I have my business time. I have to be a leader for my team. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be that rewind, that redefend. That's not saying we're good or bad. It's just saying that we need to be aware of these pillars. And I want us to start to realize that these pillars are what's going to get us closest to our goals. So as an individual, to live a full and fulfilling life, you need to always be thinking about leadership, business, brand, and body and spirit. So let's jump into the first one. And I want you to realize that if any pillar breaks, it's going to be very challenging for us. So the first one's going to be leadership. Why is leadership important? Because leadership starts off with, who are you leading? Oh, Jordan, I don't have a team. Nonsense. Yes, you do. Yourself. You're the first person on your team. You have to lead yourself. You cannot lead others if you can't lead yourself. So start to take a moment and start to think about that in your life. Like, how do you show up for your family? How do you show up for your sales calls? How do you show up for your friends? You need to be leading yourself and lead a good example of what's possible. So I want you to start to think about your leadership is how do you stay confident, how do you stay positive, and how do you stay energized in what you're really working towards and the vision you're casting for things. Yes, you're going to face a lot of rejection along the road. Yes, you're going to have a lot of challenging things. But if you don't have true leadership and know your North Star, it's going to be a really tough life. You're going to keep feeling like you're sabotaging your stuff. You're going to keep feeling like you're not more, that you're not able. You need to be a true leader there and really step up to what you said you were going to do and follow through on that and be that individual. And that shows. The second one is business. So what that means is like, yeah, if you're listening to this and you work a W-2 job, fantastic. That's your business. You got to realize at very high levels, as people rise and rise and rise, they're operating businesses. And if you're like, oh, well, my job's just a job, so I can get paid to do this thing, cool. That's fine. But the way society actually works, especially in America, if you're not providing overly the value, then you're not going to get compensated. Or you're going to get or it's just not going to work out for long. Because everything in America is a business. Or it's a nonprofit, but there's still businesses. And so you have to be providing value that exceeds how much you're getting paid, how much you're getting worked. So your business is, if you have great leadership and you're following the habits and you have the correct things going on, then what's going to end up starting to happen for you is you're going to start to develop a better business acumen. You're going to start to show up better. You're going to have more people that know you, and you're going to be stronger in what your confidence level, right? Because every single time we do something new, we get a little uncomfortable. And that's a good thing. Because I find that as we get older and older, we stop letting ourselves get uncomfortable. Because we kept having to be the one in control, the one that knows everything. And the truth is, that's the person who experiences the least. The one who's always willing to grow and always step into a new situation, that's the one who's willing to grow. That's the one who's going to gain the most, have the most experiences. The third thing is brand. Brand is really important. Brand is how people see you. Do they think about you when they're looking to better their lives? That would be mine. Do they look at me when they need to make things simple? If they want to go from version 1.0 to 2.0, do they look at me? Do they think, oh yeah, Jordan can help me? Jordan's been there. Jordan's professional. Jordan's a person who follows through. Jordan's a person who's going to be there when he says he is. And that's what I want you to start to realize. Like, what does your brand say about you? Where does your brand stand up? Who's standing up for your brand? Who's sending people your way? Who's supporting your brand and what you're doing? Sometimes you have to be that person. And Jesse Itzler said it takes 8 years to build a brand. So don't think this is going to be done overnight. Just because you didn't get a referral for your realtor fund or you didn't get a financial advising client, realize all this takes time. People have to trust you and start to understand you and want to work with you. And that's where you start to attract them with your brand. And then the final one is the body and spirit. What does that mean? It means a couple different things. We have the body, which is our physical body, and then we have our spirit, which is how are we showing up. Some people can take that as religion and spiritual and all that. You can take it however direction you want, but I want you to be healthy in what you're doing. You can feel the energy levels are different from someone who cares and someone who doesn't. The energy levels are also different when someone actually just can't keep up as long, right? So if your body, it's your only vessel. It's the only thing you have on this planet that you came in with, that you're leaving with. You're going to leave with your body. And I just want you to realize that you should take care of it. It's something that should be important, meaning that working out is important. And doing the proper activities is a big deal. It does get you closer. And you know, that doesn't mean run a marathon. That means like get your steps in. And whatever that means to you, maybe that's 2,000 steps, maybe that's 10,000, maybe that's 20,000. Maybe work out. Doesn't mean 7 days a week. That means just 2 days a week, 3 days a week. They say that muscle retention is one of the biggest skills, one of the biggest things correlated to longevity. So you probably want to have a little bit of muscle. Spirit. There's a lot of clients I work with that are very, very spiritual who say that that is their guiding anchor. And that is the thing that shows them the direction. Regardless, I don't want to get into any religion and stuff like that. I just want you guys to realize that it's all a value system. So it's the values of how you carry yourself, realizing that we're all connected, that there's a bigger picture here. I want you to realize that there's a value system going on. And you want to be on the right side of those values. And you want to choose those values yourself. So if this video does nothing else besides showing you what a high achiever does, is like you want to decide your own values. And how do we apply this? How do we fully integrate this? So the thing I do with a lot of my clients is I'll take them through a 3-month course, sometimes 4 months. And what we'll do is we'll start off with a deep, deep call where we look over our vision. Where do we want to be? Where are we at all these different pillars? What's holding us back? What are some goals we want to set for the next 12 weeks that would make success look like that? Or maybe 16 weeks. And then what we do for that time is we do weekly calls, checking in. Because what I found is that a lot of us are in the jungle. What's the jungle, Jordan? It's our day-to-day minutia. It's I got to pick the kids up. I got to go to the studio. I got to record. I got to do these things. I gotta. Let's change that to get to, first of all. And then we have to start to realize what we're able to do. So as we're running through the jungle, we need to lift our head up. Why? Because we need to see the direction we're going. We need to see what's possible. We also need to ask ourselves a much better question of, are we going in the right direction? Are we doing the things that we actually said we wanted to do? Are we really building the lives that we actually want? There's many people that say, hey, I want to build a business so that my family can be free, so that my family doesn't have to carry this burden. The truth is, most of the time we get addicted to the business and we can't stop. I just want that to be a reality here, that if you said you were going to do it for a family, at what point is too much? At what point are we just doing it to self-validate ourselves? So really ask ourselves of like, where do we actually want to go and start working backwards towards that? Because that will be a big clarity boost for a lot of us. And that's a challenge that a lot of us have. So the thing I would highly recommend to you if you want to start taking action on your own is start to measure and monitor. Start to find the important metrics that will help you accomplish the goals that you want. Find the important metrics that are going to help you get to where you need to be. And start to build a system of discipline. Build something that you're actually proud of. Build something where you feel in your heart of hearts you are actually getting closer to the goals that you have for yourself. You only have one life, and I want it to be a precious one. But I also want you to realize that you only have one life. So there's no point in spending so much time on things that we hate. So find the things that we love and start building towards that, and build an action plan and start stepping towards that, because you can. I believe in you. If you're watching this video, I believe you can do whatever you set your mind to. And if you don't believe that, set a call with me. I'll talk you into it. I'm telling you, you can do what's possible. So I want to leave you guys with this. Knowledge is incredible. Knowledge is great, but applied knowledge is actually what moves the needle. So you have a lot of new information here, but if you don't apply it, nothing will change. So you can set a call with me. You can go on my website, edwards.consulting, and just book a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's learn about what your goals are and see if I can assist you, or I'll point you in the right direction where I can. But you have to do something to make a difference. You gotta realize what's at stake here. Your life will not change if you don't change. So go out there and make the change that you truly want to. Thank you.